want to continue our team coverage tonight with our Heather Crawford. She's up in Southeast Georgia. She's in Waycross. She's been speaking with people and first responders in Ware County. And Heather is joining us tonight. I know you were at the fire department. Heather, where are you now and kind of what are you seeing out there?
Well, Anthony, we are still at Fire Station number 1, the Waycross Fire Department headquarters. Since we last checked in with you, the rain has started. Now, right now, it's just light rain. We've seen some heavier bands come through here tonight. But the message that the first responders here in Ware County have for everyone in this county is it's time to go inside, time to hunker down. We see a busy road right behind us, and there are a lot of people still out on the road driving around. The big concern they have here tonight is that there could be some very, very strong wind gusts, and so that is what they are preparing for. Waycross is a city with a lot of tall, big trees, and today we visited the Cherokee Heights neighborhood. It is a community that's known for all those big pine trees. I spoke with a neighbor who says he and his neighbors are taking the storm seriously. He was out making sure his generator was ready to go today. He got extra water and food on hand. He has his battery-operated lights on standby. And first responders tell me they too are prepared. I had a chance to speak with the fire chief, the battalion chief here at Fire Station number 1, and he says right now it's just a waiting game.
Several meetings with our EOC and our counterparts at the county, who is our EMA. We've met with them. We've activated the EOC. We've got personnel at the EOC, and we've been preparing our generators, preparing our equipment, and just making sure all of our stations are safe and equipped and ready to go.
So they are ready to go, and as you heard him say, the Emergency Operations Center is bustling with action right now as people from all different agencies here in Waycross and Ware County are there monitoring Helene very closely. We're going to be camped out here tonight at Fire Station number 1 in Waycross. We'll keep you updated throughout the evening. Live in Waycross, Heather Crawford, First Coast News on your side.
People in Waycross, Georgia are preparing for whatever Helene sends their way later on tonight. Our Heather Crawford has been in Ware County all day. She's been talking with local leaders and some neighbors. She's live there right now. And Heather, they've been given a deadline that they hopefully will follow to be off the roads and home tonight.
Jeannie, folks here at the Waycross Fire Rescue Department tell me they're wanting everybody to be indoors by 7 o'clock tonight. It's relatively quiet here right now. It's not raining in Waycross, but it is starting to get very windy. If you look at the trees behind me, you can see those limbs blowing right now, and that's the concern. Strong gusts of wind this evening, which could cause trees to topple onto power lines, causing possible power outages. Now today, we visited the Cherokee Heights neighborhood, not far from this fire station, and it's a neighborhood known for its beautiful, huge trees. I spoke with one neighbor who told me he and his neighbors are taking the storm seriously. He told me he has his generator ready to go. He got extra food at the store today. He has water on hand and battery-operated lights. Tell me about these trees. Like, how tall are the trees in your yard?
Oh, wow. They're humongous. In fact, we had a tree service come by a couple of times. They cut a few trees, and they want from 1,000 to 1,100 per tree. But that's not quite in our budget right now.
Do you worry about any of them coming down on your roof?
No. No, since they've been here this long, I figure I should be able to last a couple more years. Hopefully.
So again, strong winds expected here tonight. Fire rescue, police telling me this is largely going to be a wind event in Waycross, in Ware County. That gentleman you just heard from told me he's preparing for the worst, praying for the best, and we're going to be checking back in with him tomorrow to see how he weathers this storm. Emergency responders telling me that they are prepared for whatever Helene brings their way. If you are living in the city of Waycross and you have a non-emergency problem that you need to report, you can do that through the My Waycross app. We're going to be here at Fire Station number 1 in Waycross throughout the night, monitoring Helene very closely. But again, fire rescue telling me that they want residents in this area to stay inside and off the road so that they can respond to emergencies as they come up. We're live tonight in Waycross. Heather Crawford, First Coast News on your side.
right now at Waycross, Georgia, as we continue our coverage tracking Hurricane Helene. And Heather Crawford joins us live tonight from the Waycross Fire Department's headquarters. And Heather, Tim Deegan just told me that they are getting the worst of what they're going to see from the hurricane now through 5 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Jeannie, the wind has really picked up here just in the past hour or so. It was calm most of the evening, and then all of a sudden we started getting these wind gusts. The fire department has been responding to some blown transformers and some fires around Waycross and in Ware County. At the moment, it is calm right this second, but every few minutes, there you go, look at the trees. You can see just how fierce this wind is out here, howling at some points. And this really is a wind event here in Waycross. We were out a couple of hours ago. And you could see the street, the stoplights, they were blowing in the wind. And that's the big concern tonight. This city full of trees, that those trees could come toppling down on top of power lines and on top of homes. So I spoke with the director of the Ware County Emergency Management Agency, and he said the message they really want to get out to everyone is to stay off the roads and stay indoors. We stopped by about 2 hours ago a gas station that's not going to close its doors. It's going to stay open throughout the night, and there's been a steady stream of people there all evening long. I spoke with one woman who says she's taking this storm seriously, and I also spoke with the Ware County Fire Chief. Take a listen to this.
We're filling up on our truck and gas, and we went and got a bunch of waters and food supplies and stuff in case the power went out, easy stuff to go, and got boards for our windows.
We have got all of our chainsaws up and going, all of our trucks ready to go. We're in what they call EOC now, Emergency Operations Center. So we're in there just monitoring the storm, and as calls come in, trees down, power lines down, we're going out and assessing that and making sure our citizens is as safe as we can make them.
And Waycross Battalion Chief Jim Blackburn is joining me now live. Tell me what's the latest here in Waycross.
Right now we've run a couple power lines down and blown transformers. We just finished assisting the county with a blueberry silo that was on fire in the middle of everything. So other than that, that's all we've had.
And your message tonight to the folks who are in Ware County?
Stay home, stay off the streets, please.
Okay, we appreciate everything you're doing to keep everyone safe. So that is the latest from here in Waycross, Georgia, where the wind gusts are picking up. It's sprinkling right now, and they are prepared for whatever Helene is going to bring this way. Live tonight in Waycross, Georgia, Heather Crawford, First Coast News, on your side.
And here on the First Coast, we're continuing our coverage of Helene's impact across our area. Right now, Heather Crawford is in Waycross, Georgia. And Heather, you're at a gas station right now where, I mean, is this the line for people to fill up their cars behind you?
Yeah, so Anthony, we were headed to storm damage, but we came across the scene and we had to pull over and show you what is happening here. Virtually all of Waycross and Ware County is without power, and it could be days before the power is restored here. So we're along Highway 84. Look at this. This line, it goes back as far as the eye can see. This is folks waiting to pull in here to the Friendly Express. I think this is the only gas station that is open in the city of Waycross. And look at this. There are dozens of people lined up here at the pumps with gas canisters in hand, hoping to get some gas. We talked to gentlemen inside the store. One guy waited over an hour today just to get a cup of coffee. He said there were probably 100 people inside. James at Medlock is a Waycross resident. I met him on the side of the road. James, tell me what you're doing in here, and I mean, what you think about all of this.
Well, we don't know how many days we're going to be without power, so we we do have generators. We better go and get some gas because there's no gas stations open in Waycross at all, or restaurants, and I think it's very nice that Friendly Express got 4 pumps designated just for people with gas cans that can walk up and get gas, because everybody need gas, don't necessarily have to have a vehicle, but that's very generous of them to do that,
Yeah.
But there's no gas nowhere else.
Dire situation here in Waycross. James, thank you. I want to show you all of the stoplights in Waycross are out right now. There is a mandatory curfew. The city manager telling me Waycross residents need to be inside from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. because this is a city right now without any power. We are live tonight in Waycross along Highway 84. Heather Crawford, First Coast News, on your side.
Head back up to Southeast Georgia. Thousands without power tonight, including Waycross. Heather Crawford is joining us live from there. She has been seeing big, long lines, people waiting for gas. How long is the wait?
Jeannie, I've never seen anything like this. Some people telling me they've waited 3 hours in line just to make it up to the pump. Look at this. All these cars, this line goes all the way down the road turning onto Highway 84, and they're making their way into the Friendly Express. Why is it like this? Because right now the city of Waycross has no power. We haven't seen anyone with power. That's homes, that's businesses. This Friendly Express gas station, I'm told, is on a backup generator, and so people are able to come here and get gas. I was just speaking with this gentleman up here. Look at this, all these people in line to get gas by hand. If Oben walks over here, sir, you've waited a long time to make it here to the pump. How long did it take you to get up here?
Took me a little over 3 hours to get here.
And you came, you're not from Waycross, right? Where'd you come from?
Waresboro. I was about 10 miles out of town.
And describe the situation. You said, were you prepared for Hurricane Helene?
Well, we knew it was coming, but we didn't think they don't ever get that bad up here. This is the first time it's gotten really this bad, but I would like to say hats off to Friendly Express being prepared, State Patrol, and city police keeping it organized, because this could really get ugly. This is the only store in town that's got gas right now.
All right, I'm glad you got to fill up your tank. And so right now, all the street signs in Waycross are out. So use extreme caution if you're on the road. And there is a mandatory curfew in the city of Waycross. It starts at 6 o'clock tonight and runs until 6 a.m. in the morning, according to the Waycross city manager. We're going to have more live team coverage coming up tonight on First Coast News at 6. We're live at the Friendly Express along Highway 84 in Waycross. Heather Crawford, First Coast News on your side.
Waycross is now largely without power. So this video behind me shows some long lines at a gas station there. We're told it's the only gas station open right now in Waycross, and people have been waiting there to fuel up their cars and their generators. Our Heather Crawford is joining us live from Waycross, and it looks like you're still at that gas station. Heather, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Anthony, so I want to set the scene for you. This gas station across the street, that Circle K, is closed. It doesn't have power, but the parking lot is packed full of people who are coming here on foot, and they're walking up to the gas pumps where they're filling up their canisters. And I want to introduce you to one Waycross resident, and you're one of those who walked here. Were you ready for Hurricane Helene?
No, I wasn't. A lot of times, it was said that it was just going to kind of pass us, so a lot of people weren't too worried. Like the last hurricane, it was a lot of rain and some wind. It didn't really do that much damage, so I think people were expecting that. And then when this hit, I mean, with all the power outages and everything, it kind of became a crisis. So, and a lot of it is just preparing. You can have a generator, but if you don't have gas for it, and then a lot of places, even places that are open, like this place that's selling gas here, it's cash only. Well, not a lot of people use cash, and with ATMs down and no power, it's one of the things you just have to be prepared for.
Pretty dire situation. A good reason to always watch First Coast News. Listen to our meteorologist. We're glad that you finally got gas.
Tonight, we continue to cover Helene and the damage left behind from that storm. Thank you so much for joining us for First Coast News at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm Jessica Clark.
And I'm Anthony Austin. Let's start with this video of the storm roaring ashore in Florida's Big Bend region shortly before midnight as a Category 4 storm. This is what it looked like last night as Helene moved into Florida. The death toll in Florida stands at 9. In Georgia, 15 people there killed because of this storm, and 19 others killed in North and South Carolina.
And this is an interesting perspective of the storm in Cedar Key. This is from a Ring doorbell camera, which captured the rising water from the storm surge as it climbed higher around this home.
And in Pasco County, a home going up in flames as it's surrounded by floodwaters. Dozens of people had to be rescued, and some parts of Florida's Gulf Coast saw storm surge levels of more than 9 feet.
Wow. In Pinellas County, a bird's eye view of the widespread destruction left behind there. Debris scattered all across the yards and the streets. Boats just tossed around. Signs and trees toppled. Homes really damaged.
And this is Treasure Island. Boat after boat after boat just piled up in the front yards of homes and businesses. We counted at least 15 boats in this video.
That's incredible. And in Georgia, in Ware County, Waycross is now largely without power. This video showing long lines at a gas station where people were waiting for the gas to fuel up their generators. Heather Crawford reporting some waiting for hours.
So this is the situation unfolding right now here at the only gas station in Waycross, Georgia that's currently open. People are waiting upwards of 3 hours in line here, coming through this intersection at Highway 84 where all the stoplights are out. Practically no one has power in Waycross, and so they're coming here, many standing in line to get gas in their canisters to power up their generators, and then the cars coming to fill up their gas tanks after Hurricane Helene did a lot of damage here last night. Let's talk to someone right here. You've been waiting in line. You live here in Waycross. Tell me your name.
Ashley.
Ashley, what do you think about the situation happening right now?
I've never seen anything like this before. This is something new for me.
And were you prepared for the hurricane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not really. Not really. Not this bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't think it was going to hit this bad. Like, we got scared last night. My husband's tent, like, they blew the tent off the roof. A tree went through our neighbor's, the roof went off our neighbor's house, and it was bad.
A tree fell on our neighbor's house into their bedroom.
You feel lucky to be alive and safe?
I feel lucky, thank God.
Yes.
Yeah. And for people, they're coming from all over, not just Waycross, but a lot of the surrounding towns.
Douglas, Pearson, all over.
Okay. Well, you go get your gas.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
glad that you're safe. Thank you for speaking with me. We will. Thank you so much. So here in the city of Waycross, dozens of homes had trees come down on top of them. I spoke with the city manager today who tells me that there is a mandatory curfew that started at 6 o'clock tonight until 6 a.m. However, you see, a lot of people still out on the roads trying to get gas. They're going inside the Friendly Express, trying to get food and water because they don't know how long they're going to be without power, and it could be days. In Waycross, Georgia, Heather Crawford, First Coast News, on your side.
Yeah, we want to go back out to Heather Crawford with what she's seeing firsthand.
So we have moved over to a neighborhood known for all of its beautiful tall trees. This is a Cherokee Heights neighborhood in Waycross. And yesterday I was standing right under this tree talking to the homeowner, Mr. Warren Glover, just about how tall these trees are and what he thought about the storm coming. And he was talking about how he had faith. And I want to bring in Mr. Glover right now. You were home during this hurricane when it hit. And all of these trees, you said it wasn't in your budget to have them taken down, but they all came down.
Yes, we had it priced, and they wanted $1,000 a tree and $1,200 for the ones close to the wire.
Right.
And I told them it wasn't really in my budget. So then you guys was out here yesterday, and we looked at the trees, and I was telling you about it. And then this morning, they was all laying on the ground.
And you and your wife told me you believe that you experienced a miracle last night because not a single tree hit your house.
Not a single one. Didn't hit the house, didn't hit the truck, didn't hit the camper. So, and then fell on the sidewalk and didn't even damage the lights.
Didn't even damage your solar lights.
My solar lights, yes. It's a blessing.
Well, we are so glad that you and your family are safe. Right across the street, these folks had just moved out of this house yesterday when this tree landed on top of their home. So nobody on this street was killed. There are a lot of trees down on top of houses here in the Cherokee Heights neighborhood. But the good news is everyone made it through Hurricane Helene. And I do want to point out one thing. Since we were here earlier today, one of the tree limbs, a large tree limb, has come crashing down. And so I was speaking to the Ware County Emergency Management Director, and he told me to remind everyone that there have been gusts of wind today. And so to be very vigilant, look out for any hanging tree limbs and be very mindful that power lines could be wrapped in them, and treat every downed power line as it potentially being a live wire. We want everyone to stay safe as they have a long road to clean up here in the city of Waycross, where most of the city is without power and may be for some days to come. In Waycross, Georgia, Heather Crawford, First Coast News, on your side.